Hello, everybody. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and I am with a ghost and a giant man-child today.
Autobots.
Whoa! Wait, are you the Predator?
If it comes down to the show and reading comics,
yeah. So today we are just going full negative Nancy, if I may say so myself.
Taco Tuesdays.
So like a little tiny mini baby Willow update, and that's that I was talking to some people involved with Willow yesterday, and they're in reshoots right now, and they were telling me that like the general shoot hasn't been super pleasant. Been lots of like 16-hour days, and people have quit. Cast members have quit. I don't know if they're main cast or if they're small cast, but they're in reshoots. They're up against the clock right now because they only have so much time to shoot in Wales left. And yeah,
before Christian Bale returns.
Yeah,
it's a clock. It ticks.
Right?
It's true.
To be professional here.
Yeah, and he stays in accent the whole time he yells at you. That's what's impressive.
But what's funny is when nerds like the end product, then the adversity becomes what led to the greatness. And if they don't like that,
they send you the GIF, the great big Batsby, you know, the fucking DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Oh, the Great Gatsby.
There you go, Gatsby. Bixby.
The nouveau riche.
Bill Bixby, the Bill Bixby GIF.
You wouldn't like me at my
party. Yeah,
tight jeans.
But I don't think it. I asked. I was like, so do you think it's going to be awful? And their response was, "We're getting it done."
Oh,
so no. That isn't what that means. That doesn't mean. That doesn't mean. Oh, it means no. It means it's uncomfortable for us, like in the back of a little Volkswagen. But it's not. It's not. It means it's the same thing. It's just not fun for them.
It's always.
I heard the same kind of stuff went down on the Dark Crystal. Like that wasn't fun for a lot of people. But I thought the end result was really good. Although friends of mine who work at Henson hated it.
Yeah,
go figure.
Well, George Lucas ended up in the hospital for A New Hope. Hated it. Great movie.
Yeah,
great flick.
Rick McCallum did great.
You know what? I just said flick. I don't like
loved
that.
every minute.
Rick McCallum.
Yeah, I got a Star Wars Insider, a PDF a friend sent me. I haven't read it yet because I'm like, fuck this. But the cover said Rick McCallum said why the prequels are the best. And I'm like, well, I gotta dig that up for the show, right? So
because the Coke was pure, man. It was.
I don't want to read it in character.
Bro.
We should do excerpts. Rick's like, remember those like John Dearly SNL things like. What was it? Precious Moment.
Jack
what was
Handy.
It? Jack Handy. It should be like Rick McCallum's, like McCallum's. So there's a wordplay there.
I had the cocaine. I knew I shouldn't have done it, but I did it anyway.
No cocaine for Eric Denton. Eric Denton, no cocaine.
By Jack.
None
Handy.
for you.
Why is Willow and Dune lumped in the same? This is not the same experience, like or genre.
He's my friend, and he's just being a troll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think he likes Willow though. I think he wants to fight him. I think
if he's gonna talk shit about Willow, then he has to do it in Iron Sheik all caps.
Yeah,
that's the only way I'll accept it.
Yeah, you gotta make Willow humble.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Jesse were talking before the show, and I'm like, man, I feel almost dirty making like a thing saying, "God damn it, Disney," on a little featured image for the show. No, but I feel like when it's sincere and it's true, there's a difference, and that's why
talking about the cruise ship.
Yeah, I wrote something. I was like, it doesn't look good. And I was like, you know what? No, this thing fucking sucks, man. I was just like, no, this thing is horrible. And
upside to this being horrible. If it is horrible, right? And it will be, because I don't know if you've ever been on a Disney cruise, but they all suck. My cousin went, not really? So much fun. If it's horrible, and it tanks, this is how we get rid of Chapek.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I profess even, I don't know shit about the Disney power structure, but I do know that a lot of people like to make bald white men into their great white hope. And they like to do that to like Chapek. Like Chapek is personally sitting on Kathleen Kennedy's face right now. Her tongue is right
like
up his ass.
Yokozuna?
Trying to get the job back. Okay, I just got word back. She did it.
Face.
Chapek had a prostate orgasm. Kathleen Kennedy has been rehired. Like every day they do that kind of story.
Was it Yokozuna had the sumo bomb? What did he yell? Because I want to say atom bomb, but that was Atom Bomb would yell Atom Bomb.
It was a splash.
He would do the thing, and then
all I know is that Iron Sheik will fuck you and make you humble. And he needs to do that to this fucking Star Wars.
If I could just get Celebrity Deathmatch to come back, Iron Sheik would be my color commentator on that show. Like it'd be those two guys with the Iron Sheik, and then he would go and pick a fight every episode with somebody.
We should bring it back. It's Sheik on that way.
If it was me, I killed them all already.
that way they could actually cancel MTV finally because it shouldn't exist anymore. Yeah, this thing. Okay, so for a long time, I have been a little Star Wars pinko about it. I'm like, not everyone can afford this. In fact, most people can't. It's ridiculously priced. It's like $6,000 for two adults and a kid, or three adults and a kid. Yeah, for 2 nights. I mean,
even when the price comes down, it's $3,000 for 2 nights. You do the math on that one, bro. Like.
Yeah, when I don't think it's coming down ever. I think it's gonna stay like this forever because it's fucking shit. But do we just watch it straight through, or do we stop and watch? Because there's a lot of stop and watch moments in this.
Oh, we should stop and watch. Like,
stop and watch, okay?
No, we're not watching it. Well, you're not watching the way I originally intended you to watch it, where I just laugh with money.
Yeah, and how much drugs did they pump the guy from the Goldbergs full of to do this? Watch this.
Oh, you don't know. Those are old Lucasfilm drugs.
Hey, Ann Morrow. Hello there.
I'm super excited to see what you and your team created.
We cannot wait to have you.
Okay, so we got Ann Morrow.
Actors.
Poor Ann Morrow Johnson. She just wants to make a ride, and they're like,
she's not an actor. She's an actual employee. Okay, the actors I feel sorry for. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right. Executive producer, Imagineering. All right. I should be nice to her. She might be a
Is that the young kid from the Goldbergs?
Yeah, but he's like 44 now.
Board, because Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser is a first of its kind vacation experience where you get to spend 2 days and 2 nights living out your very own Star Wars story.
Oh, I'm just too excited. We gotta go inside.
What an asshole. I just gotta say. I mean, what will you not do for money at that point? Oh my God. What the fuck is happening?
It gives me hope. One day I can be an actor.
Oh my God, a little bit of pee just came out. I can't wait.
Hold on. You go out on your Tinder date. She goes, hey, want to go back to my place? You bet I do. Let's go.
Oh, fuck, I just came in my pants. Let's do it again. Does that count?
Pre-come, pre-go.
Does this make it suck fest?
Right. Hold on, I gotta wash those F-bombs. Just give me a second. I got a bunch of other words for you if the F words don't work. Don't worry.
This one was demonetized when Kathleen Kennedy ate the ass of Bob Chapek and gave him a prostate orgasm. Here we go.
With her tongue.
With her tongue. Okay, so
welcome to the
hold on. All the languages. It's all in Arabic, so no one can fucking read it. Like, isn't that great? You're just all the screens like, I don't know what that is.
It was all Imagineers writing "Kill me."
I didn't come here to learn.
Let me die.
Is it? It's like, remember when Indiana Jones the Ride had that like decoder ring?
Yeah.
Right. And when you read it, it really was like, be sure to drink your Ovaltine. It was like, make sure Indy wins the ride or some shit.
That they are using that thing from the Galaxy's Edge app where you like hold your phone up to it and it translates all of the writing for you. They're going to be using that on here. I'm pretty damn sure. But here we go.
of the
like
Galactic
front-
Starcruiser.
Oh,
Wow.
something like that.
This is unreal. It's like I'm walking straight into a Star Wars movie.
No, that does not look like a Star Wars movie. I'm sorry, but that looks like
buttons.
I feel like
This-
Star Wars.
This doesn't even look like Star Tours. Like, I'm sorry,
No.
this looks like when they would renovate Space Mountain to kind of look like Star Tours.
yeah.
Yeah. But they still want to give it its own Space Mountain-y feel. Like, that's what it looks like.
I feel like I am being moon raked right now. You
Let's
know?
not make our jokes. Come on.
That's
Come on. Let's have some decorum.
moon raked. You're the one who. That's a Roger Moore joke.
Roger Moore joke.
But here we
Best
go.
Bond ever.
Look at that feigned enthusiasm. Here we go.
Not a movie, right? You get to be in the middle of it all and in the middle of the action.
That looks just like
And then there's
Star Wars.
activities you can do on here.
Yeah, there are activities on board
like
the
a
ship. The
Klingon
first one
bird
that
of
I'm
prey.
really excited about is lightsaber training.
Oh my gosh.
Here on the bridge, we also invite all of our guests to do bridge operations training. And occasionally...
Oh,
missiles
great. You get to-
where we can go hyperspace.
Again, I gotta learn
Look.
again. Fuck this
I took
place.
shit. Sorry, Jesse.
That's all right.
It's just I took some shit from some of our 15 bots that watch the show last week because I said, hey, instead of a fucking ride where I have to do the engineering, it would be better if it was like a 6-on-6 BattleTech like motion simulator where you each get your own ship, like a snow speeder or an X-wing or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, no, got to be the Falcon. I'm like, I don't want I want to do the cool shit. I don't want to stand in line for 4 hours to be like,
Okay.
I get to do multi-ship engineering. You know, like,
Really quick. The thing is that about it is that some people can't play video games. Some people are just shitty at life, can't do it. So they made the back ones for those people. The problem is that they have no system for making those shitheads get in the back. And so people who are really wanting to fly the Falcon end
Exactly.
up in the back. And so for them, it's purely an organizational failure of being like, they really should ask people, in some way. Yeah,
bringing up
but-
organizational failure in Star Wars is funny. Just mentioning that.
There you go. Here we go.
Hand in hand.
All right. Here we go. This is the where it gets exciting, you guys.
God, it's only halfway through.
Punch it.
Look at that baby.
Punch it.
So we've really focused on making sure we have some of the best entertainment in the galaxy.
I mean,
on-
it like I'm sure it has to be lit in a certain way because it's like people have to be in there.
It
And,
just looks like a Japanese love motel. It doesn't look Star Warsy at all.
board.
I'm not knocking Japanese love motels. I'm just saying that's what they look like.
But I could probably get. I have a lot of fun with that $6,000 at a Japanese
get
love.
the
they don't.
Cowboy
They
room?
don't cost fucking $1,500 a night. That's for sure.
No, I could probably be there for a couple of days, not weeks.
God,
One of
they
which
have,
I'm
they have
so
a holodeck.
excited-
I'm gonna be mad.
Man, look at the Goldbergs guy. Look at his face right here. He's like, oh my god, why am I doing
That's because
this?
he held up his phone and that room says Weinstein. What?
no.
Oh no!
Holy
The Hut.
what is it's a Chapek with that fucking masked person from The Shining. You know, in The Shining when
No.
Yeah,
No, Jason, they have to be in character. When he's on that ship, it's Chewbacca.
Chapaka.
You heard it.
Excited about-
Making Star Wars exclusive.
we need to edit shit into this. This will be a fun video to edit shit into.
Is this pop star who's known through
Look at him. Even he's like, fuck this. I'm
into our Duel of Fates script reading. That's where it needs to be.
I mean, yeah, but that looks super boring and looks.
If
it's just a skilling right there.
If we just had some Funny or Die money, right? We should do this, but with Willow, like the Willow experience, and it's just like a shitty old boat. We can take you out into the English Channel and hope you don't drown.
Yeah.
This was Warwick's trailer, but don't mind that it's being used currently. But yes, it was his trailer.
What they do is for the Willow Hotel, they put you on a Disney bus and they bus you over to medieval times in Buena Park. And you
It's
hang out
Willow
there.
Tell.
Willow
Willow
yeah.
Tell.
Here we go.
The H is silent.
Out the galaxy for all.
He's like, fuck, man. So what if I jump through this and it's a window to the outside 20 feet down and I just die?
He literally just ends up in space and dies.
It's like, that's cool.
I should end it all right now.
Sayonara, baby. All right, there you go. All right, so
This is how they sold Westworld to people. By the way, we know how that went.
I just wanted to like see what my kids would think about this, by the way, and I just showed them the whole video, which we're not letting you watch yet if you haven't seen it before. But and my son was he's 8 years old and he was appalled. He was like, "Why? No, I don't want to do this." And my daughter,
Why are you punishing me, Dad?
my daughter who doesn't care was like, "I want to do it. That looks fun." And I was like, "Yeah, here we go."
Women do love cruises more than men. Haven't you seen The Love Boat? That's how every fucking episode starts. Some woman, some B-level celebrity you remember from his late 60s, early 70s, drags her husband onto the boat. He's like, fucking Gracie, can't do it. Shit.
They even had Andy Warhol on the Love Boat. Okay,
I like cruises.
Can we bring him back for this?
All right. So when the lady starts singing, guys, just let it go. Just let it happen, because it's so worth it.
my wife is trying to plan a Disney cruise.
What's I just
What about
Jason Mantzoukas back there?
So right here,
Who's the guy? Life? I like him. But who's that guy who does the YouTube videos where he punches? Jeremy Johns, right? Like, is it Jason Johns? He's that guy. He's he's a good YouTuber, but he likes to punch the kid. That's Jeremy.
I just can't wait for this guy tries to pull what he pulls on this guy right here. I've seen people at Disneyland who spend $1,000 a year on a fucking pass act like they are supposed to have their ass eaten like the Bob Chapek, and this right here he would demand to see the manager. This is Star Wars.
Feel the swell as the moon
Magical.
Is this the Fifth Element?
No, that part's cool. You ready?
Hit me.
Fuck you, Disney. Fuck you.
It's hurting my ears. Make it stop.
Who thought that was Star Wars? Like who thought that worked?
See, even James asked, "Is this fifth element?"
No, but the Fifth Element has that's
look.
fucking,
Here's Star Wars, cool. Right? Here's Star Wars. Chopper,
yeah. No,
that's motherfucking Star Wars, all right? And people will be like, "It won't fucking stop." Stop this shit, stop. Man. It won't stop. Yes.
Okay. If me, Jesse, and Rob decide we're all gonna go and we're gonna do this, right? My Star Wars experience isn't I walk in and welcome to the new world. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, do it, girlfriend.
Go fund me so you fucking actually do it.
Like a Star Wars experience is a fucking little weird guy comes down with the drum and he's like, and they're like, okay.
But Jason, this is how Katie tried to sell me on getting Crazy Town into Revenge of the Sith. Like they
yeah. And Max, it's the nail on the head. That was a holiday special moment made in 2022.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I like tentacles. So
and if all three of us go, we can be two of us can be a couple and the other one can be the child.
Yeah.
I'll be the child. The baby Herman me right up, buddy. Put me in a stroller. I'll push my ass around.
If we're there, we're gonna be like, boo!
This is prime opportunity to put the two old Muppets in the fucking cruise ship with you.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Chris Farley and
the Jedi Rocks guy back.
Chris Farley and Airheads. You suck.
Stole her to white slavers. Rob made that joke.
And look at that asshole from the Goldbergs. Look at his stupid face right here.
so because he got to pretend to be us as a kid.
Okay, hold on, pause. We're putting zippies on the side now. When that start?
Zippy
When
on
that
the
shit
side.
start?
Zippy on the side. Zippy on the side. I
There
don't
you
know.
are.
There you are, you little fucking weirdo. What were you
That's
doing?
shore leave for next generation.
You gotta understand, like I used to be part of these programs where they'll go, "We got these new bodies." That's what they use for shirts or any form of apparel. They go, "Dude, check out these new bodies," and it would be like Zippy on the side, and I'd be like, "For men?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, let's see how that plays in Omaha." Like,
It really is like as dumb as Back to the Future. Like the kids wear their pants pockets on the inside out in the future. Oh, we put zippers on the shoulders here.
Here's a legitimate thing they tried to do in 2012. Remember those costumes you can get for your kids that have like the Velcro capes on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You get like a little shirt, like it's like a Darth Vader shirt, and it's got a cape. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That for men.
Yeah.
They had men's size with capes, but they also wanted to do other characters like Spider-Man, but it had to come with the cape. So you have men's Spider-Man shirt with the Spider-Man. Yes. Oh, it was getting even better. Like a lot of money. All our bonuses that year went to the cape program for men.
You could have got away with it with Miles Morales, possibly, but not.
Men wearing onesies also are very.
Bro, this was 2012. They wouldn't put a black man on a shirt. Yeah, I'm telling you, I tried. I tried with Black Panther. They wouldn't let me do it. So.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my gosh, I was just in there, the lights were low, and this performer just came out of nowhere.
You just met.
And she just totally like did one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in Star Wars. Wow.
She wouldn't stop singing.
I mean, it's like what's strange is when you actually hear the full soundtrack that they constructed for Galaxy's Edge. They made some actual like weird music. It's some actual like shit that's like actually really well done.
I just want to pontificate for a second here, Jason. I'm not saying, but when you get on a ship and they say, "Welcome to the New World," white slavers. Think about it, guys. Like, just think about what you're doing.
Don't get on that ship. Don't get on that ship.
No,
we're going to the New World.
The New World. Here we go.
Met Gaia.
She was incredible.
Let's get you back to the launch pod in your home planet.
Sounds great.
All right.
Still sounds great. Can we get the fuck out of here? Yeah, a 2-night adventure for $6,000, and that's what you get.
That looks like a big turd.
That is awful.
Like, what were they expecting? Like, okay, so I'm gonna go on a cruise, and I'm gonna have some days off, but I'm gonna spend 2 days, and look, the stormtroopers that entered the building, and they're all gonna shuffle us off to concentration camps. I don't know, like, what do they want?
We have waiting for you there.
I mean, the reality of it is this: if they wanted to do this right, and if they maybe they're not selling this to Star Wars fans, and they're just trying to sell it to like just your standard fucking Disney idiot. But it's like I said, it should be like the family or the friends are sitting there, and there's something weird playing the music, and then some people,
aliens, Muppets,
some creatures start a fight with each other.
Yeah.
And then you see this little skirmish go down, and then everybody goes back to their business.
But they can't because the ship breaks. The ship breaks all the fucking time, dude. And they're not going to be on a cruise ship with puppets broken. So it's all got to be live performers. Like,
and what did they leave out of that promo commercial? Is the scene where the Rey-looking character has the lightsaber that retracts and extends.
Yeah.
And then come to find out that, oh no, those are going to be the only people in the world that get to have those or use those.
So they aren't selling that. They're not selling that in the end.
Sell them. No, they're not going to sell them. You
Genius.
Have the attached blade to whatever you like the Leia handle and all that. But no.
Can we go fund me?
Yeah.
Can we go fund me and send Warwick Davis to this thing? Like,
I think
bring the sword to Gryffindor with him.
Yeah, I'm sure he gets to go for a free. Don't worry.
No, not in Chapek's land.
No way, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of like personifies my like initial Disney nightmare scenario when I very first learned that Disney was buying Star Wars. I thought, oh no, that was my first thing. I was like, oh shit, and then that right there is actually it happening. To be totally fair, that shit ain't happening in the films, and I think that is an important designation to make.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but I think it needs to be said that cannot bleed into that.
Right.
If those
two observations.
Yeah.
One, the second episode of Hawkeye. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a whole thing where he gets stuck with LARPers. Brilliant. And I'm like, give me the Avengers LARPing fucking thing, you know, where it's super low tech and everyone's like got to play along like that. Watching Hawkeye have to LARP is worth and there's some great Easter eggs in the background if you pay attention. Okay. 2, why hasn't Lego made a Lego ship where it all looks like the ship is made out of Legos? Like, the Lego cruise, I could totally get behind a family thing, right? Because it's super easy that you just make a ship that looks like it's Legos. Well, and you have Legos everywhere.
Disney doesn't own Lego, is why the Star Wars presence at Legoland has slowly been, I think, kind of dying out over since the acquisition. They didn't just outright pull it. You know, they still have a lot.
The Lego Star Wars cruise would be the thing.
Yeah, that's where you could definitely have more leeway. But
you could have a ton of the characters from all the the video games and stuff too.
You're going to get no fresh air for 2 days. Before pandemic, I gets me claustrophobia thinking about it. Like the one thing you get on a cruise, and like even if you would go to like,
Rob, you go to Galaxy's Edge. You're not even on it the whole time.
Well, where you're packed in with everyone too, but
you go into it's a bus that's also has no windows. It's like a 2-minute drive. And then they drive you over to Galaxy's Edge, and then when they let you out, all of the things that they had designed for Galaxy's Edge that were supposed to happen to you in Galaxy's Edge as a normal thing that they cut, from what I hear, they moved over to that for the people who paid, and they're going to use the wristbands that they make, those little tracking devices that they make in Florida, and that's how they're going to know if you're a member of the Star Cruiser thing. And that's how they're gonna start those little role play things. I don't know. It sounds and if you pay extra, you can eat with the captain. So you can be like, "Here I am on my fake starship."
They gotta have a wristband. They won't be recognized from their downtrodden faces.
What did you say?
It's the actor who originally played Jabba the Hutt. You know, the human one.
Oh, Mibuki!
Oh, welcome to Mibuki!
I saw a pop of Han Solo, the concept Han Solo, where he had a lightsaber.
Oh, the Star Killer looking thing.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I almost bought it.
Yeah, but they're all supposed to be the
Jesse trying to bring a real conversation.
Or the
shit show right now.
Or the Pantorans.
Into the absurd.
The captain is like a blue guy.
They're all blue. Blue is the fucking thing, you know. Like, shit, dude. They should just get a George Lucas impersonator to be the captain, and he's just sitting there. I wish he'd deep fake the whole cruise. I went on a cruise once. I know. Well, that's what I was trying to say. Like if you're stuck on a ship. Like they do that thing called Dark Harbor, which I did once with my cousin, like 2015, down in Long Beach, where they have like the Queen Mary. It's the actual Queen Mary, but then they take you through all the parts of the ship that fucking reek from the old pipes and it's rotting, and they make it into a horror house. You're just begging for fresh air. Yeah. You know, when you're in that thing for even 10 minutes, and you can't go on the deck and just go, because it never fucking probably leaves port, or just goes like around in a circle in the bay, you know, or just goes out to a point. Does it move? Just sits there?
It just sits there, yeah. I remember going there when I was living.
No, I'm talking about this ship.
Oh,
the Queen Mary doesn't move. It's stock. I'm talking about this ship.
I don't
Queen Mary. I don't know if anything's changed, but last I heard, it was actually about to break, and if they don't fix it like here, they're gonna have
permanently stored there. But I'm saying on this ship, they're not even gonna leave the port because you wouldn't know either way. Well, it feels like it's moving. I don't guess. Like it could be moving like in a concentric circle. Like, like the great part. So two other thing. One, this really reminds me of Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark, right? When they spent like $120 million on a Broadway play and everyone was getting injured on set. So what's going to happen is anytime something goes wrong with this, and it will, it's going to turn into the giant scandal. I mean, you're going to hear the loudest bitching you've heard since Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark with this cruise ship.
Well, I mean, it's going to turn everyone into a Karen, like Rick's saying 6,000, and I could send your whole family to Hawaii.
Go to Japan for a week and a half on 6.
Yeah, we went the last year for less than that.
Yeah, and so when you go, it's like I don't know, man. But what's weird about it is anybody willing to spend the 6,000 is probably really into Star Wars, I would think. But they seem like they are making it for fucking Little Mermaid people instead. Like they want to make sure that they're okay. And it's just like, it doesn't work that way. You really are, I think, are just going to probably offend Star Wars fans. And for a time, there will be people who spent $6,000 who will tell everyone it was totally worth it because they don't really want to admit that they literally made the dumbest, worst purchase ever.
It's called the Phantom Menace syndrome.
I disagree with you. You are fucking wrong.
It's my favorite prequel film, but let's be honest, people who stayed in line for a month got fucking took.
No, I will say the person I met at Celebration that got the big Jar Jar tattoo on the rib cage probably was going, even if they didn't like it, was probably saying that they liked it for a little while.
It was down to my neighbors.
You're gonna see what you're gonna do.
He looks at himself. Fuck yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's just totally misses the mark. It doesn't. It's kind of weird because in Star Wars, though, you could take the Maz Eisley Cantina and you could turn that into the whole motivation for how every single experience should be to some extent. But you could also look at other things like the opera sequence in Revenge of the Sith, and there's a sort of like otherworldly strangeness. This has none of
it. Is
either
difficult enough to do in a controlled environment like Rise of the Resistance. It is so hard to do in a controlled, turn off the lights, shut everything down, make people wait in another area. To do that continually on a cruise means one thing. It's all fucking Broadway bullshit. And I'm sorry, as much as Broadway is cool, dude, Broadway like impromptu at fucking the Kroger is not something you want to be dealing with. Could you imagine Broadway Kroger where everyone stays in fucking theme? It's just ridiculous. Like,
oh, this is fantastic.
Goldsmith says, I'm going in May. If you read Kristen B's article, there's an outside area which will be described as an environment simulator. In the jargon.
It's some guy with a push cart full of alcohol.
Just out there, you can see where the fake fascists are protesting vaccine mandates. Like, oh shit, Star Wars got real.
And I don't want to jump in on this because it might be wrong. It may have been poorly written. Okay, it may. Have been.
It was.
Well, no. I read that you get a free alcoholic beverage.
I remember that. You get a free drink.
It's going to be that expensive.
Like per hour? Or do you
get when they say alcoholic, they mean like 3% alcohol, not like a shot of JD, you know?
Butterbeer.
Yeah, like butterbeer, you know? Like, okay.
No, I mean they definitely limit how much you could have in the cantina. Like you can't just pound beers there.
It's like when I hold up a ginger beer and Max thinks it's alcohol. I'm like, no, it's just a fucking Canadian dry. There's nothing in it. It's sugar-free fucking soda. Like
we're everybody don't comment on what he just said. We're gonna be having an intervention for him. We see through his lies too. Yeah.
That's why he's so pasty red and squinty. No genetics. So that's the only way a man can like Avatar that much. Look, say what you want, the Avatar fucking land is great. If they made an Avatar cruise, I'd be shitting on it just as hard. Trust me. This is ridiculous.
I think Galaxy's Edge is fucking great. I really do. I really think
yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad experience.
It hit the mark. And when you're there, it is. And so maybe, just maybe by some weird fucking chance, this is being sold by a group of dipshits and it's just as good as Galaxy's Edge. I don't think so, though.
There's an alternate universe where Dick Tracy was bigger than Batman, and we got the Dick Tracy cruise line, and they're all like various stupid looking gangsters and doing show dancing. You one kid gets to wear the yellow coat and be Dick Tracy for a day and shit. Like, yeah, Buena Vista Cruises presents the Dick Tracy fucking cruise liner. You know, like I just can't wait.
Can you imagine though trying to get those
Big balls as a guy? I got big balls. Big balls. Big balls. Oh my god, Big Balls is here. Fuck you. I would go to the DuckTales cruise in an instant. Now, at least you could go on a treasure hunting adventure. It's doable. They'd all be wearing those stupid outfits, but it's doable. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Glomgold's running around.
if whack. I mean, and this is just me, and so it's like I don't expect Disney to go and make something just for Jason, but it's like if they were to make this just for me, I would want there to be a bunch of Star Wars aliens, people, cast members in masks and the costumes that are in the bar for a few minutes, that are walking through. And they leave me alone.
Droids.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me. Yeah, leave me alone.
Just let me be an anthropologist observing what's going on in the Star Wars universe.
Because the downside to something at the scale, this can only happen in VR, by the way. This is the only way it can happen. Because even with Galaxy's Edge, the downside is you're never going to get that Mos Eisley experience where you just sit in a bar and people are fucking leaving you alone, you know? Like, and you're just like, look at this fucking crazy shit. You can't. Yeah. You can only get it in VR.
If you come to Southern California and you're going to go to Disneyland, and I honestly recommend that people don't get a reservation for the cantina. Don't waste your time with that. Go down to LA and go to the Scum and Villainy Cantina and get fucked up there. It looks just like it. Once you have a beer or two, it feels the same. And it's way less annoying. And when you go to the one at Disneyland, you sit down. The minute you sit down, they're like, "Get the fuck out! Are you ready to get the fuck out? Here's your drink. Did you get your drink? Okay, you need to get the fuck out."
Look, they do it to you at Denny's. I mean, the last time I was at a Denny's before fucking no,
that's
Handy,
me. I just do that to you.
Was you're like, "Hey, can I get like some waffles and pancakes?" And they're like, "Sure, here it is." Bam, check. Like they don't like I mean,
don't ask for
at least let me bite it first, you know. Yeah. I get it, you know. All right, no refills
over here again.
It's just so
yeah. A DuckTales fucking cruise makes more sense. Actually, the more I think about it, because you could go near an island and pretend you're having an island fucking treasure hunting adventure. Like a Star Wars cruise, it's like, why don't we have the Amazon spaceship experience where you could pretend to be an Amazon penis ship going into space? Like, it's just as dumb as that.
And any window you're gonna have is gonna have that Star Trek style light speed lines kind of just going by.
All right, guys, it's time for the hard question. Everybody was wondering, but nobody was asking, so I'll do it. How long until we start to see the Pornhub clips?
Oh, people having Nook on the ship, and yeah, that's coming. Yeah, that's coming.
Yeah,
but
right.
I say first week.
Yeah, it won't take, dude. I mean, if people still will try to have sexual relations on a fucking plane in this day and age, which is the most disgusting thing one can think of, given how small everything is there anyway, and what God knows what people are doing in those things. Airline bathrooms are the worst. Only a Greyhound bus bathroom would possibly be worse than that.
Yeah,
Chudongula lives on a boat. I love it.
Chudongula gets molested by Chupig. Is his name Chupig?
No, Chewbacca. It's Chewbacca.
Bob Chewbacca.
Bob Chewbacca. Bob Chewbacca. Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine Chewbacca looks like the thumbnails Chewbacca.
Yeah. Wait, where's it at?
I just want. It's so ridiculous, man. Like they recreated a $6,000 holiday special experience. I can't believe this. Like they may as well bring out the robot Julia Child, right? Woo! whipping, stirring, whipping, stirring, whipping, stirring. Like we're doing this. Like, for real?
No, they bring out Small Wonder.
It's just so off, you know? Like,
I take it back. Anybody who ever complained about the Star Trek experience in Vegas in the early 90s needs to fucking take a bite of humble fucking pie, bro. Like, that shit, at least with Star Trek, like, you just put people in a jumpsuit, walk them around, you know, like, got a little bit of a promenade, order a drink. That's basically Star Trek. You can't recreate Star Wars as a cruise liner experience. There you go.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
There you go, The Shining.
Yeah. Right. No, this isn't The Shining. This is from the new Star Wars hotel experience. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, that's what the kid from the Goldbergs did. That's why he didn't want to go in the room. That's why he tried to jump to the window.
Does the white guy come with every room or just that one?
Oh, every room. It's very Star Warsy. Yeah,
it's like a Jarvis, maybe.
I want the Married with Cruise Liners experience where you're stuck in an Al Bundy hellhole for 2 fucking days. Yeah.
Ow.
Oh, dear God, make him stab his feet.
Ow, okay. I wanted to come here.
We have some breaking Star Wars news. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
This has been cut.
That sure kill me now.
They don't want to pay to have anybody in a costume on a $6,000 cruise. Sorry.
Well, why not? That makes sense.
It's gone. Sorry.
Why would they?
3 more years.
Yeah, I saw that that they're gonna let you wear your own costume on the
that'll go well
on the thing. It's like, that sounds like as bad of an idea as letting people wear it in the park. What's the difference?
There was a guy at Comic-Con once. I had to teach it was one I taught my little brother. He was a portly dude who dressed himself up in tinfoil and put like an Autobot sticker on there. And my little brother, man, you know, was like, when did Optimus Prime get fit? I'm like, you can't do that to people, dude, you know. But like, to that guy, that was a costume. Like, don't think that won't happen here.
Oh, sure. But hey, you know, do you? But
But it's not going to be Star Wars. That's what I'm saying. Like, do you? But they're not. But then they'll be like, we won't let that guy in. They'll do it. You know, no, caution's not good enough.
No, my thing is like security and safety on that. And when it comes to Galaxy's Edge itself, I'm not super worried about a person coming up to my kids and saying, I work here, come to my hotel room right here so I could do something terrible to you.
It's the whole reason why people go, why can't I wear a costume to Disneyland? Because you need to know who's fucking working there and who isn't. Yeah, like, makes total sense. Yeah,
if you're allowing that in the hotel area, I'm more afraid of that as a parent. Then that's what I find that if that's accurate, if that's true, then I find that very confusing and a little bit slightly alarming. Even.
What are you saying? People at Disney won't play by the rules? Are you saying people who pay money to go to Disney will somehow try to cheat the system or take advantage of people's naivete? As a million people walk around in wheelchairs pretending to be crippled so they can get a straight line to the front of every line, right?
I just want to show up super entitled about everything there. I'm gonna be like, hey, go get me a turkey leg from Disneyland. I spent $6,000 on this, and I want a turkey leg.
It's a Rancor leg, actually, Jason. It's a Rancor leg.
Excuse me, I'm a cast member, and I need to know: is it Rancor or Ranker?
I
don't know. Is it Rancor?
A lot of people ask me if it's Krat or K-Rat. K-Rat. Yeah, yeah, they do. They ask me that all the time. Ahmed wouldn't stop in the car. Just kept going.
Does Hondo give us a handy?
Yeah. Honda. I thought I like hand give me a handy. That makes more sense. Nice try, buddy.
When I first read it, I was like Holdo, and I was kind of into it. And then he said Hondo, and I was sold.
Yeah.
They'll have some kind of specialized club, Kitster's Club.
Yeah. Oh, Kitster. Yeah. Well, I tried to do Kitster's Club actually, Jesse, but
that's in the basement of the Starcruiser.
It's in the basement.
Club?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of Club 69. Club 69.
It's the Bob Chapek child sex cabal in the basement of the Starcruiser.
Totally worth $4 billion, though. I think
there's a lot of pizza down there.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I mean,
I heard
I gave them an outline for a cruise
I heard
when
if you
they bought it.
To the basement, you could drink the blood of the guy from the Goldbergs. They have it there.
You know, part of the experience is you get to actually build all the HasLab toys now, and they're going to arrive on time when you get back.
You really like what we're doing here, George? You really do? You like what we're doing?
Well, you'll get to pay $400 for a Rancor with no trainer and a shitty paint job, but then the people on the cruise get to build it. And when it comes to port, then Jesse gets to take it to you, and you get your toys on time.
Yes. Yeah. That is wonderful exchange of labor.
Yes. Yeah. Just like Star Wars.
So Counterpoint says, this feels like shitting on a movie before anyone has seen the movie. It might suck. It might be great.
If the tickets to a movie were $6,000, I'd be shitting on it all fucking week.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, guys. It's not.
If it's $6,000, it had better look like the best. I should feel like it's going to be the best thing that ever happened.
Come on, when they did the video for Galaxy's Edge, and we were like, look, we all know it's not going to be that empty, like in the video, but that looks pretty fucking amazing. Ain't nothing about this look like Star Wars. Like, her singing, the set design, any of it. Like, and how much concept art do you have to put in your thing before, like, I don't know, man. Like, great, you're right. It's going to be the best ever. Can't wait to go. Maybe I can sell like a bunch of NFTs and ruin their, you know.
Totally don't get your money back, John. Totally don't do that, John.
Yeah. Go. Take out a loan. 23% interest. Do it for us. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
I will
go
say,
for a week.
I am hoping I'm wrong. I would love for that to actually be the case. For this to
I'm
be
not.
a rad
I love
thing.
when CEOs hubris gets so bad they fail. Look, these people unfortunately will probably lose a job, but they'll end up on another cruise. It's how it works. But I like when the hubris gets too far. Like I perfectly enjoyed shitting on California Adventure when it opened up. Mm-hmm. It deserved it. Who builds a fucking ride in California to experience California? It makes no sense. No, it makes no sense.
It's for the adventure.
And then you got there and every store looked like a dressed down version of the Disney store at the mall. Like it wasn't even impressive to look at.
It was almost like a Zoomies mixed with the Disney store.
It was ridiculous, dude. And they had this weird ride that ain't there anymore where like you took like a paparazzi tour. Like, and it was like really like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride bad with these weird fucking characters. It's so fucking weird. And they fixed it. And now I think California Adventure is a better experience than the main park, other than Galaxy's Edge, obviously now, before that got done. Only because it was spread out better, and you could have a drink, and they had a bunch of cool fucking rides. Like, it was a fine experience. But this, man, we all know. They're like, Disney Cruises ain't making money. How can we do it? You know? How can we do it? And then they have all these fucking limitations. They're not showing you. They're not being truthful with this video, with the reality of what we will actually be like. And don't tell me
dining hall. Show us what
we're all old enough to know what cruises are like. It's impossible. Unless you're strapped with a VR headset on the whole fucking time and you can never fucking take it off. It's ridiculous.
What are we doing here in Shreveport?
Yeah. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I'm going to be. And I think it's really just a standard next Disney offering and not really truly a Star Wars one. It feels
and
like
this was the video to prove us wrong too. This was the video to go, look, motherfuckers, this is what you got. And I'd be like, well, they got me on this one. I mean, it's expensive, but at least it looks fucking dope. This don't look dope. This was our worst fears when we heard about a Star Wars land.
Yeah, I should be jealous of
honest.
John right now, and right now I just kind of am like, John, I hope it's worth it, man. That's how I truly feel.
I hope don't let me ruin your good time, bro. Like if you want to go, like let me think of something I did. There's got to be something I've done that I loved and everyone fucking hated. Gotta be like when I was a kid, I liked going to the fucking used bookstore. My friends couldn't stand it. You know what I mean? Like don't shit on my fucking time. I get it.
I miss that. I miss going to these bookstores. I wish they were still around.
My friends hated it because it smells. Like it smells like old books. I'm like, I love it. But it was a thing.
I'm in music stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like, but used bookstores are cool, Rob. They weren't cool in 1991. Like you gotta go back to like people are like, go to the new books. Go to the library. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is this video doesn't look like Star Wars. It looks like someone's selling you some Star Wars bullshit. Like it's honestly the production value for the Denny's videos for so long. Because at least they could put aliens and Muppets and shit in. Where's the when you say Star Wars to me, Muppets is half the fucking equation. Weird fucking puppet things like that pop up and do this and have the eyeballs and the weird shit. Like this is just.
Or like the little black mouse droid. You couldn't have one of those wheeling around down the
because they'd pick it up and run off with it.
I mean, no, we really can't. I mean, they aren't going to sell like every little tiny surprise that happens. Like when they're selling Galaxy's Edge, one of the neater things is that you don't see like the Dianoga. Like they didn't
right, but when she was singing, right, and she goes into the riff, if it had opened up and the Chuck E. Cheese like fucking Slice Noodles band is in full fucking regalia, right? But it's fucking super dope. Right. Then that would be like, oh shit, they got a full fucking Slice Noodles band, dude, with the fucking little Honeycrisp fucking dude, and he's actually there. That's crazy. They ain't there. It's just that's gonna be it.
Yeah. No. It really feels like it's just stuff that they could take in and take out, and with somebody in a costume, and it really is. It feels like they're selling an extended meet and greet.
I didn't watch a lot of Voyager, but it kind of looks like the interior of Voyager.
Look, man, bro. A Star Trek cruise liner makes way more sense because those were TV sets. We're used to the look of a TV set and budget. Star Wars ain't. Well,
that video has really horrible lighting, and I don't know if that's super honest lighting, and that's what it's going to look like. But that's part of the problem.
And Star Wars is about shadows, and they're not going to put shadows on a cruise with kids running around.
I heard there's a lot of things that depend on what type of lighting they use too in certain places.
Remember how dark Chuck E. Cheese's was in the 80s? If you walk into a Chuck E. Cheese now, because of fucking pedophiles and fucking assholes, the thing's glaring. Bro, it's almost a CIA torture device with so much amount of fluorescence in a Chuck E. Cheese.
Tell me, he's had a couple of birthdays there.
There's no walls anymore. It's just one big open room, so you can see your kid at all times. But like the shadows,
the other parents get into fights. Yeah, that's great.
Those are the people racing to go buy tickets for fucking this cruise right now. They can't wait. It's gonna be the best. Oh my gosh.
Where do we get in line?
Like I want to say, like if they had opened up and there'd been a big band, a Muppet band, maybe like. You could go and there's like you could look down in and see like a CGI like video of like a Rancor down there and it would shake or something like we're storing Rathars and Rancors down here or something like
but let's critique what is in it according to it, not what there should be. Right. And right now, okay, $6,000. How much is it worth to you to be able to practice your lightsaber in front of a lightsaber thing? I'm thinking $20.
Bro, but you have a lightsaber in VR. You can legitimately maneuver and battle shit in. Like
no, I know. But
so ridiculous.
But not everyone does. So I'm thinking $20.
The people who can afford this can afford that.
You see the video of the guy doing it. It's like it was so bad.
And then you're able to go and you get like a lesson on how to fly the ships. It looks like you get to be a gunner on the ship, but you're already doing that in Galaxy's Edge on the.
You know how everyone goes VR. You look stupid in real life. If you see what you look like in VR, I'm like, okay, one. That's what you're going to look like trying to pretend to actually use a real lightsaber. You're just not going to have it set out, so you get to see yourself do it now.
I look stupid jacking off, but I'm not going to stop.
That's my other thing. There's a lot of shit we look fucking dumb doing. Video yourself sometime at climaxing, and you'll see it. We look dumb doing shit all the fucking time. Like, just video yourself singing in the shower. Like, that's what I'm saying. It don't look good.
Yeah. So, anyways, though. So
yeah, if it was like an Imperial cruiser, why did they make it like a padded version of like Leia's ship?
But I could go be a gunner. I could go be a gunner on the Millennium Falcon and do Disneyland all together
because
for like
100 footprints all up and down those white walls. That's why.
But for $130,
it is white walls though.
So let's just say though, being a gunner on the Millennium Falcon is worth $130, which is not. So I'm gonna say $20 for the lightsaber thing. and $130 to be the gunner on the Millennium Falcon.
No, you're too low.
But that's $150. Okay, so I'll round it up to $200. So now I'm at $200 to watch a Twi'lek lady sing at me in a costume. I mean, I could probably.
Bro, let's say you also get a fucking hotel room in park. That's $1,500. It's still cheaper. Like,
yeah, but I'm just talking about what do you get doing this, and it's like I could eat at a Star Wars restaurant, but I could eat at a Star Wars restaurant in the park, and then I could pay extra money to eat with the captain here. So I'm already paying extra money now for that, and then the goal. You have that little like cubby holes for the kids to sleep in. That looks kind of cool. But I could probably build that for my kids.
The fucking big elephant in the room. The elephant in the room here, bro, is why did they never do a Pirates of the Caribbean cruise?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that fucking shit makes the most sense. You know? Like,
it makes complete sense.
The kids dig the shit out of the pirate one at the Legoland.
We don't have the technology to do what they selling. We don't. It does not exist.
But let's look at what they're giving us. So then we get the food. The food is included, and at Disneyland prices, I guess you're pretty much looking at $25 a person per meal, probably. If you're just going to be like really high, on for everything.
Double it. Go 50. Fuck it. Like, because you're still going to be cheaper than this fucking ride. This cruise,
And so when you take, like, if you make the room 2,000, I'm still not seeing the value in it, other than it's a place I could go role play my little balls off. I could do that anywhere I want. I could do that in VR. I could do that.
I can go to any cruise and pretend I'm on Star Wars. Like, that's what I used to do. When I get into a car, I used to pretend I was an X-Wing fighter every fucking time. Like, you'd turn the knobs, you'd set things up, you'd pretend. Like,
James Howley Bertoni. Get it right.
Bertoni.
It's Hondo Burton, buddy.
Yeah. No, but I mean, but truly, like, if my kids get it in their heads that they want this, and I'm like, well, little Lukey and little Penny get whatever they want, and I was to go in on this, I am having a hard time. Just like I said, doing the math about what I get for what it is, and right now, taking a bus over to Galaxy's Edge and getting like the VIP, you do get like kind of like a VIP Galaxy's Edge sort of experience.
Take a limo to Galaxy's Edge. You're still going to spend less money than this.
But yeah, but I the perceived, and then Rick Jones says the perceived value is the luxury experience.
Perceived value. Yeah, that's the problem.
But I would like somebody who goes on it, or somebody who goes to it.
Well, we're going to find out. The dude that owns Scum and Villainy, Kevin Smith, bottom is paying for his fucking ticket because he was going to pay for it. And Kevin's like, you know what, dude, he's his editor on his films and stuff. You've done so much for me. I'm going to treat you to it. And that's amazing. So I'm looking forward to, he's the one guy who's super fucking, if you build a fucking Star Wars bar, dude, you're super into Star Wars.
Yeah. You got a kind of a stake in it.
Yeah.
So
I still think it's a better experience than the actual Galaxy's Edge bar, and that's just being straight up honest.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like frog dog looking animatronics and jars and shit like that. But it that stuff, you see it for a few seconds and then it kind of dissipates. And
look, part of the charm to some of the stuff is cheesiness, Yeah. So I give it like, okay, cheesiness is part of it, and I accept that. But at some point, you got to be realistic with like, okay, maybe we need to just have people in some costumes walking around and some baby Yoda on a big, oversized, stuff. We wheel them out and just do the fucking theme park experience, like. And just be like, it's the Star Wars theme, right? It doesn't cost anymore.
By that point, he's like 20 years old. He's all in their coke and stuff.
And places like that Great Wolf Lodge that we've stayed at a couple times so far, they have it all in a contained experience. You don't have to leave the building. You got the water park, and then they have like all these like rope climbing things, and there's different restaurants all connected to each other. They have a bowling alley in there.
I would love nothing more than to be so taken by this. I'm scheming up ways to convince my wife to do it.
Right.
You know, like every time a new PlayStation rolls around, I'm like, all right, let's do the math. You know, like I get to flex those, getting my, you know, that you feel like that asking your parent for something. I actually enjoy the game a little bit, but I don't, there's just no way you can conceivably like fathom this experience. Even like my cousin is the Disney park. I'm not gonna say Karen because she's not an asshole. Yeah. But she will fucking internally be like, it wasn't as good because she does Karen herself with the experience if it isn't perfect. Okay. And so she's like, this is ridiculous. And all she ever wanted to do as a kid was a Disney cruise. You know, when it was Disney cruise. And I'm like, can't be that great. She got the Disney cruise. Was it better than Disneyland? No, but I mean, it's Disney and you got us all on a cruise. Then I'm like, then what's the point? You could just go on a cruise. Like, have fun. But you have mouse shapes everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I guess. I mean, if that's your thing, but for $6,000 or even $3,000, I don't know, man. Like, this is this is crazy. I want the Muppet Cruise
with all the character. You have like character breakfast and all that bull crap, but you still have to pay for that. I don't think that's included.
I mean, maybe if they had built a fucking ship that looked like Jabba's sail barge, you know, like, and it's all weathered and fucked, but no one wants to take their family to a dingy, dark, fucking rat hole experience.
You know? Yeah, I do, but
I know, right?
Yeah, Bill's all of it was like Westworld, maybe. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is how they sold people on Westworld. It looks all fine, and then they're out there raping robots for fucking 6 days.
The very first day, honestly, I fucked the mouths of every one of the modal nodes. That's what I did. That's why they can't do that.
No.
That's why it's not allowed. So,
because the most horrific shit that happens in Westworld is what people would actually do.
Yeah,
if they were allowed unfettered whatever to a virtual environment, a so-called virtual environment, you know?
Right.
Like, people go, it's ridiculous, the setup of this. I'm like, fuck the setup of it. This is what people would do. Like, that show keeps it real. But yeah, man, this is like the Lego cruise. If it was not like Star Wars Lego, but if just Lego had made a Lego cruise, I get it. But like, remember when they did the Nickelodeon fucking thing at Universal Studios in the 90s, and they charged so much for it that people were like, what are we really getting? It's like Nickelodeon, but you could be slime sometimes. Like, for how much? Like,
oh really?
Yeah, it was one of those things. And then they had to bring all the prices down, and the reality of a hotel themed like Nickelodeon can't be, it just eventually, there's no way to keep that upkeep, plus shit breaks. And when you're on a cruise for 2 days, you don't want nothing breaking, bro.
Yeah.
You're not going to be like, oh, the fucking Twilight can't come out and sing because she's broke. Like, that's not going to happen. Like,
yeah. Yeah, that, I don't know, man.
They roll with like 3 character deeps, the backups for each character.
Yeah,
the Twilight's broke. Bring out the Rees, you know.
Right.
Mara Jade number 2, please to the stage. Mara Jade number 2.
Mara Jade.
Hey,
everyone's like, why is Ray got red hair
right now? Hey, put those hands together, quit your grinning, and drop your linen, and then we got that Mara Jade on that stage. That's right.
I want the Wolfman Jack of Star Wars. How Lucas never put Wolfman Jack in Star Wars.
We cut him.
Starman Jack coming for you. No. Jabba the Hutt gonna get you with this nifty little tune by Star Snoodles.
She wants to dance, but she can't do it alone.
Well, anyways, if anybody goes and have a good time and it's worth it, I hope it was, and I hope that they have a good time.
The show's so negative.
Yeah, no, I on this one, like I said, I don't like,
but I don't have $6,000.
You know, not at that one, unfortunately. Unfortunately, not at that one, Cadence.
When's the last time I really took the piss out of something? Like, just on the announcement of it alone. It has to be a remember. What there has to be. Maybe every time a fucking new Transformers movie comes out. Like, I'm like, no fucking way it's good. You know, it should be, but there's no fucking way.
Ooh-bah.
Why can't he hold like the last 3 apart? Like they come on TNT or whatever, and my son starts watching it, and I can't tell them apart. It's like, oh, Mark Wahlberg's. Oh, it's a Mark Wahlberg one. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So that's that as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't really following it. The video came out like a day or two ago. I didn't even like want to look at it. I was just like, I don't care. And then YouTube kept saying, watch it. So I said, fine, I'll watch it. And I watched it, and I was like, oh my God, this is so awful. It's so dumb. So
this is exactly the experience I had. I saw it, I'm like, not unless Jason makes me. I'm not even gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
And today I'm like, I knew it was coming for me. You know?
Yeah.
Like you know when a mobster does something wrong and they're just waiting for the guy to show up at the house, like I knew.
Yeah.
I knew.
No, I mean, but whenever somebody likes some or doesn't like something that I like, then they'll call me a shill or whatever, and they'll go down that route. And those people are still going to do that. But I think when something is egregiously stupid, then you call it egregiously stupid. You don't pretend. You know, I've had to do things with people in the past where everything was good, no matter what it was, if it had a Star Wars logo on it. And I would try to be respectful to that person, but after hearing them, after encountering it over and over again, I'm like, you know what? That episode was bad. That book does suck. But you start to notice, like, they don't ever say anything is bad. I've always tried to say when something was good.
We praise so much.
And
we praise so much on this show, bro. Like we praise so much. You know, I got friends who are like, I thought you didn't like The Last Jedi. I told you I don't, but I like it out of all three. It's the most complete film. Yeah. I'd like to see where it goes. It doesn't mean but I know he loves it. We praise so much. There's nothing to praise here other than I hope the rich people, you know, who signed off on this suffer, but they won't. Here's a reality. Even if it fucking tanks and Rob's right and whatever, Chapek just gets a fucking $200 million golden parachute. So like, what happens? You know, the only people who suffer here are the poor people who have to work there and deal with the fucking Karens of the world who demanding shit all fucking day, you know?
Well, I'm going to throw it out there too and say that the, you know, Star Wars fan who has a mortgage and 2 kids and a wife and bills and really wants to give their family a nice vacation and has that. Yeah.
They suffer too
because you know they're going to be paying off the credit cards on this one for a few years for that Griswold experience. You know what I mean? That
would be a great cruise, the Griswold, the National Lampoon's Cruise Vacation, right?
It'll end up with Starship Wives of the Galactic Starcruiser.
Leia's like, no.
Yeah, it looks pretty terrible. But
there we go.
All right, so this is the part where I'm going to bring up something.
Don't be a negative Nita.
Yeah, I'm gonna transition to the, you know, when there's Star Wars stuff to a spoon feed, I'll spoon feed it to you. But when there's nothing else, that's when we go and we get the UFO leftovers.
He gave you Willow news.
I gave you Willow.
Willow news. He gets the right to shit on some. That's the trade-off. I get to curse whenever I want because the military turned me into a foul mouth. It's the only thing I blame the military. I actually got medically discharged from the military, and I'm more mad about the cursing. I've tried so hard. Yeah, I checked, by the way, Jason, I checked. I called up a high school friend, right, that I actually dated for a brief moment in high school, but we were friends mostly, right, throughout high school. Very close friend. And she's super honest. She listens to my own podcast, and when I give up memories, goes, that's not how it happened. So I called her up. I said, do you ever remember me cursing before 1998? Because she knew me 1992. She goes, I had never even heard you say the word crap. Like, I just did not do it till the freaking army. I put this. It was so bad. It was F word every 3 seconds once in the army, and I cut myself off. I'm like, I got a problem. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, we had someone in the comments that was like, stop dropping the F bombs. But
support the soldiers, support the troops. They ruin my fucking vocabulary. You know, sorry.
But yeah. Anyways. Here we go. So if you watched yesterday's UFO show, we were talking about how weird it is, about how Jacques Vallée believes that they're not little men from space, that it's something else, and talks about like control systems and stuff like that, like and how we've always kind of had it, how we've always had these like sightings, and we have tried to interpret it on the incorrect terms. I suggest you watch it or read that article that I talk about. At least probably better if you just read the article. That said, I started thinking about some things. I started thinking about that conversation yesterday, and I went through and I was like on Reddit, and I was like, oops, let me get rid of the logo here. All right, so this I found. So did you guys ever hear about the stuff about President Carter?
Yeah, I remember Coast to Coast doing this once. Yes.
Yeah. So in Richard Dolan's book, The Secret Space Program and Breakaway Civilization, in it, he refers to the supposed meeting that President Carter had in 1977, where he was briefed on the UAP.
Hold on, because he ran on disclosing the UFO stuff to people. By the way.
Yeah. He had his own encounter with the UFO.
Yes.
And then promised that he would debrief us, and then he didn't. And that's where it gets interesting. Right. Is after the briefing, a presidential aide who was very, very close to Carter walked into the Oval Office following a briefing that the aide knew had concerned the topic of UFOs. President Carter, quote, was seen with his elbows on his desk, head in his hands, and he was either sobbing or nearly sobbing. Something had deeply upset the president.
Now that you're president, sir, we can tell you that you actually are not in charge. We are.
Well, that's one of
you have meddled with forces of nature.
You don't understand.
But I am inclined to believe, based off of past acts and evidence of how they have behaved, if there is any kind of qualities to this to the phenomenon that isn't about them being able to cash in on stealing the ideas for the tech based around it, that there seems to be something about it that they don't want us to know. And I agree with Bill Miller that I do think that at his core, he may have been a huge pussy, or is a huge pussy, but he, I think, was the last honest president, or one of the more honest presidents that have been around our lifetimes. And the fact that you could tell he really did want to bring disclosure, and then didn't, and then backed away, and then runs from it after that, I think is something that's really it makes me think that there is a very horrifying aspect to the phenomena that isn't just we're not alone, because most people believe that we're not alone, so it can't be that.
If the animal mutilation, just the animal blood draining thing, is to be believed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I told you, it's like, I don't really want to know about the alien shit. like I'll leave Bob Lazar stories and just hang it up on there and move on. Like, they're not going to help us, and I hope I never encounter one.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
beyond what I've seen in the sky, I don't want to be like, there's one right there.
Tom DeLonge says a lot of very kind of, I don't know, almost alarmist things. And his says, ancient texts seem to have a common grouping of patterns that are all connected in intent to describe a control mechanism, there's the word, so different than we would ever conclude. Don't assume that they are coming from other planets. This is also where the conversation gets disturbing. And supposedly he has been briefed in, and based off of the Podesta email leaks from the WikiLeaks Russian hack, we have right there, we know that he was talking to them. We know that if that shit is real. And then he also has military contracts. So if he was going to be, and supposedly they have exotic materials, and that is confirmed. Actually, I think they've actually confirmed that his agency is dealing with it. So he has been briefed in, and he has a big mouth, and more than most. And I think that's why, one of the reasons why he was. But he says this shit right here. And he also said when he learned the truth, I think he said he couldn't sleep for about 2 or 3 days. And I think he said he started using pills again. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's how it
Battery saw the video for Galactic Starcruiser.
So,
What?
so is it like the invasion in the X-Files movie where they have that black shit that pops up in your eyes and they're trucking it in big container trucks?
So what what the more general like idea is and what people think it is, this is a really weird, and this one I'm not like, hey, let's take something from Korra seriously necessarily, but it's still an interesting thing, and I think it leads into what the general discourse is about what it means. And it's this guy on this user Okitako says, I just found this on Quora and found it interesting. Posted by someone claiming to have been affiliated with NASA. So take it with a grain of salt, but it's still interesting. So yes, the incident of Jimmy Carter occurring after being briefed about classified information regarding UFOs is largely believed to be true by the serious research on the subject. As a forewarning, the following information is very unsettling and will explain why Carter never kept his promise of revealing classified UFO information to the public. According to the story, that was corroborated by more than one witness, U.S. presidents are only given a cursory overview of the subject. Apparently, the CIA runs the program, only provide information to the president on a need-to-know basis, and do not consider presidential curiosity as sufficient need to know. This was implemented after Kennedy, and all presidents after him have been given only summary briefings. Some presidents, for unknown reasons, were given more than others. Okay, so to the question. President Carter is a deeply religious man who had only witnessed a UFO with 6 other people.
Yeah, there is no God. that would do it.
That's probably why he's crying.
Well, I think it gets worse. Everyone thought that it does.
Shit, there is a God?
Yeah.
Shit, that's even worse.
No, that's exactly.
That would scare me even more.
Everyone thought he would be the only one to finally release the UFO to the public, blah, 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 right? Eventually, the CIA had the talk with him, and afterward it was reported that he sunk in his head and hands and began to deeply sob. So this was visibly disturbing. So what was he shown? He was shown that major religions, including Christianity, were programs created by extraterrestrials to prevent us from destroying ourselves while they ran their experiments on us, and that they made us. And this moment, it became clear to Carter that such information could cause tremendous economic and social upheaval. I should add that I am not only a Christian, but a clergyman, so I am in no way attempting to promote atheism here. In fact, now how God fits into this might be an interesting separate post. Nevertheless, these are the facts I find them to be. Sorry. And so there has been like other things, you know, about God and how this relates to God. And I couldn't find it before the show. Tom DeLonge, is it DeLonge or DeLong? I don't know.
Every time you say it, I want a mouth drop or a cough drop. You know
what is it? DeLonge?
It's DeLonge. It's DeLong.
DeLong, right?
DeLonge is a cough drop, which
I thought
like
it was
a Riccolo.
Like DeLong has
his middle name is Riccolo. You know, Tom Riccolo DeLonge. So,
but
it's true. And yeah, I want everyone to dress up like ducks. I read the chat, guys. Look, 1 second here, right? About the DuckTales cruise thing. I would make it more fun, so the people coming on board could get a duck hat that had the little bill, right? And you'd wear a shirt, and you could be a fucking duck or a Goofy. You could just get a little fun little cap if you wanted to wear. Like, I wouldn't be like, yeah, put everyone in a freaking Howard the Duck suit and make them run around in feathers and shit. It's ridiculous. It's really like Duckburg. Like, come on.
Dave Filoni wants everybody to dress up like wolves. Anyways,
hungry like the wolf.
We'll just give him duck feet, and that's it.
No, he's
I have duck feet.
No, he's.
I got surgical webbing.
Tom DeLonge has mentioned kind of like nightmarish scenarios about them literally feeding off of us as an emotions farm. Is that it? We are only men.
That's what I do to the chat.
Is it Colin Robinson?
It's a psychic vampires.
Well, yeah, it's a grift. But also said things like you know, like the Greek gods and the Roman gods and shit like that. All of that stuff has roots in reality, and that it all connects to this one thing. That those things.
How about that Wonder Woman?
And so is it like? So they're saying it's like the beginning of the movie with Harry Hamlin, the Clash of the Titans, the original one. So All the
You got
guys
a-
standing around.
Yes, exactly.
You got a yeah.
their
Chip,
palms
yeah,
around.
read it. Shut up, Jesse.
We got a super chat.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up with the money.
No. Super chat. Everybody, quiet down. Christopher says Cali Adventure improved a lot in 2012 when the California theme shifted to the state as seen through Disney characters, etc. Route 66, Carlsbad.
Yeah. And I've praised that.
And thank you for the support, Christopher.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, and I've praised that, and I think the remodel is amazing. It has a 1930s exterior with the Disney statue, and I think the amount of work they did was amazing. But that's because they had to do it right. There is a limitation. Like,
Yes.
guys, go look at cruises just in general, like how difficult they are to run. Okay, this actually happened this last year, right before Pandy or during Pandy, was these fucking crypto bros they bought a fucking cruise liner to create their own state that they didn't have to pay taxes in, and everyone would buy things in crypto. Go look it up. Go look at how well this the cheapest cruise liner they could buy, how much it costs these guys to maintain a little Hersheyville fucking like scenario. And then imagine trying to entertain people at the level of Disneyland 24/7 for at least 2 straight days. It's next to impossible for that, and for it to look how like they want you to think it's going to look. It's not going to be that.
Shut up, you feathery.
Oh, I do like that. I'm a feathery. It's not quite there. It's very close. You're very close, Joel. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's probably a thing. There probably are people who dress up like Donald Duck and Bang, so they probably have a name.
They gotta wear no pants and just have like feathered like underwear. I get to wear.
I think they're called Donald Dickers.
I get to put in the little web feet, right, with a little furry bottom.
Every now and then, though,
Little tail.
Daisy does kind of look fine as fuck every now and then. I'm not gonna lie,
Bro, dude, you're missing out on the modern magic of Dispel. She's hot. Like, telling you, I love new DuckTales.
Yeah. To go back to Bill says, if this article is right, it's super like the Greek god myths, and yeah, this is what this person was saying.
But it also plays into that thing about how they use ancient alien superiority to be tied into alt-right fascist white supremacy. And when you think Greek gods, I do fear that we're talking about white Greek gods.
Yeah.
Right? That the universe was created by white Greek gods, which they wouldn't have been, but that's the perception amongst most people.
But what if we end up overlooking it because white fascists are trying to co-opt it? You know what I mean?
Like the fucking South American religions date back just as far. I mean, bro, like it's crazy how no one goes, the Metzapekal, the fucking, what's that cool shit down there with the fucking
Anubis
Quetzalcoatl, whatever, is real. It's a giant serpent that fucking rides the fucking heavens and shit. Like, they always bring up the Apollo because it's Western civilization shit that I just tell you, man, like, I wish any of these dudes who write the books would bring up one Asian god from China that dates back further than that.
Yeah, the Mayans had the same serpent god. Yeah, Quetzalcoatl.
Right, but Roland and Emmerich co-opted the Mayans, right? Like, they listen to Kosoka. So.
But this
the flaming
Reddit
serpent.
poster,
Thank you.
I think puts it in a fun way. I thought it was fun anyway. Says that
Sure.
Most gods are real but are not gods. We just think of them because of being primitive at the time. And look up cargo cults. So are you guys aware of cargo cults? Is that a
cargo cults?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
So what happened is during World War II, there were a couple of places that were never really touched by the West or modern.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of this.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And I can't remember the guy's name. Like, might have been John, but John shows up and he's like a military guy, and they start to worship John. But John gives them like modern like food and gives them stuff, and like, this is great. This guy's great. And then, but then they start to, as cargo drops from the sky, they start to think it's like gifts from God, and it becomes like a whole thing. And then they start to build a religion and even a culture around this one guy that they think. I'm telling it very poorly, but look at it. It's definitely
that's how Bezos made his money.
It's definitely, yes.
We all worship him now. They do the same thing to us. Yeah. Magical little gifts appear at my door. Denver, no pay taxes. You're the best.
Yeah, like, you God.
I pee in cup now.
Yeah.
The gods must be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Coke bottle. And so anyways, though, so basically, the insinuation is that a lot of humanity has looked at these beings, like how the cargo cult looked at the military GI guy. So and then it says we are at war. That's why we haven't been fully informed. Some gods love to mess with
Anunnaki
us
god shit's bullshit.
and purposely
Sorry.
crash tech to make us fight and just to see what happens. And Tom DeLonge has said things like that they basically love emotions, good and bad, and that there's factions that want either.
It explains why they let Trump run free. Like,
What about
they got emotions, both good and bad.
Shirt off all the time.
Yeah, the truth baby. We are some kind of thing to be harvested. It may be for our feelings and emotions. He can't talk about this much. And then the others are here and have been here, and we don't call them aliens for this reason. And we are in a game of cat and mouse. We don't want them to know how much we know, and we don't want humans to kill ourselves for the entertainment of them.
We call them necessary travelers.
Well, I mean, and like there is in this nightmare scenario, there is stuff that makes sense, and it does to some extent could explain why somebody like Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer, doesn't come out and do what he said he was going to do when he seems like he intended to do just that.
I got to comment on Bill. I'm not a fan of Zachariah Stitchin's crazy theories, but I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Yeah. I've just seen everyone who's propagated this stuff. Everyone who's propagated the Anunnaki, Nibiru, and all this stuff, they just use it to sell right-wing radio shit. Every one of them will lead you back down to a QAnon hellhole, bro. Like, they all do. They all just funnel back down to this weird pedo fucking lizard people conspiracy. Send me money now. Go wait for JFK to resurrect fucking cult. You know, every one of them, man. They all funnel back down. They don't lead to like, how did fucking the government get the UFOs that maybe Balthazar worked on?
Jesse, you want to answer Cassian's question?
Oh yes, that's called the gods must be crazy. Mm-hmm. And there's a part 2.
Yeah. No, I definitely think when it comes to this kind of shit, you definitely have to put your theoretical hat on, not your I believe everything that I'm reading. And you also have to say I mean, like some of this shit very well may be totally on. Maybe all of this is on, but you obviously you really can't make policy off of it. You can't make life policy off of it either. So you know what I mean? Because it's
keeping us in conflict is what gets them going or keeps them going. The negative energy they feed off or something like that, maybe.
Oh,
the worst episode of a Star Wars cartoon ever is called Cat and Mouse. What was Lucas trying to tell us?
They want a Wanga.
What? But
yeah. Rob believes everything. He doesn't believe anything. Where does he stand? I don't know.
Yeah. But
I wouldn't get depressed. The whole world, if you're telling me the whole universe is made by lizard people who fucking hate us, I'd go, that makes sense. The only thing that would depress me is it really is an old Santa Claus in the sky who hates gays. You know, like that would depress me. You know, something that hates everything equally, I understand. It's resentful of us, you know?
Yeah.
Or just, what's the word? Like, do any of us shed a tear when someone in Fortnite gets killed? No. They don't care, you know? Even in a roguelite where your character permanently.
I cry when I die. But when I was yesterday, I think it was Mark Hamilton. He was asking about how they seed pop culture ideas in the pop culture and like why do certain things resonate. One of the things after I was reading this last night, I kept thinking about was there's a lot of big pop culture moments that kind of happen throughout time where something we are supposed to associate with that isn't us, but is like an avatar for us, like in Blade Runner, when Rutger Hauer kind of like kisses his maker and then kills him. And the same thing happens in with Interview with a Vampire. And it's also a big theme in like, the Frankenstein story that has obviously keeps permeating throughout, like, is this idea of like science and the maker, and obviously you could take it into down the other path of science gets out of control and then it's dangerous to humans. But also, what if a part of this mythology is working for us because it's literally the system that we're in, that we are going to have to kiss our maker and kill it someday. I fucking love that.
I just like how we got the comment the other day. They don't believe in UFOs because they don't brand them enough. They don't put logos and bumper stickers all over it. Like, fucking no creature but humans do that, bro. What if that's just an intrinsically fucking human stupid thing to do? I worship any culture that bans putting stickers. Sorry, Jesse. Bans putting stickers all over fucking shit for the sake of saying now it's legitimate because I slapped a fucking logo on there. You know,
well, no, that was what we talked about, like on, I think maybe our first Just Looking at UFO episode, is that we know it's not one of us because we would do that, like we would totally do that.
We would do that.
Yeah, we would do that for sure.
Yeah.
It would be like it would say USS Enterprise or something at the very least. At the very least.
Yeah.
It's still weird that the Millennium Falcon doesn't say the Millennium Falcon on it
Anywhere.
Yeah, but they did do all kinds of symbology or some symbolic kind of markings on most of the ships in Star Wars, and it's like we as humans feel the urge to do that kind of thing, you know, to decorate, and it is fascinating too that you don't see like a UFO with like the nutsack hanging out the back, or the BMW kind of like big, you know, we don't see like a statue on the front of it or anything like that. They are like very just
Millennium Falcon. So the Falcon. So in the Star Wars universe, there's Falcons.
Mm-hmm. Think about it.
Apparently that we know. So why does it originate as a Falcon?
Yeah.
They've never been. They're supposed to be the fastest animals in the galaxy.
Huh. I never thought about it.
Birds. The Millennium
Ducks.
part, is it because the Falcon has been around 1,000 years?
No.
It's the whole backstory for the Galactic Starcruiser. See, when you go there, you'll be able to decode that story if you bring your phone and stare at you use your phone to stare at another screen, and you pay for that. Can't wait.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Fucking.
Yeah, I get to hold my phone and look at another fucking computer to read it. Oh, can't wait. Genius.
I'm
so Star Wars.
Yeah.
Reed ain't got shit on this, buddy.
I believe we learned that Han Solo's dad worked on those ships.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just joking with Jesse that means the Millennium Falcon really can't predate Han Solo by much, if ever. In
like time travel, it can't exist before the time machine was created.
So they only made the YT 1300 for a couple of.
That's how long it took them to come. Actually, it's milliseconds. 1300. Like, sorry, I use the C word 5 times a day, but
no, I think but that's kind of where I buy into.
He got cloned. Sorry.
I think when you hear like what Tom DeLonge says right there, Tom DeLonge is totally going with the Jacques Vallée line of thinking in those tweets. If he learned the truth and he's saying that right there, it means that if they're the government at least, or the person who debriefed and brought him into the inner sanctum of
you're
that
also hitting into John Lear territory, Jason, where the moon is a receptor for souls and it's a battery story, and I just go sure, it's a battery. It's a thumpy fucking rock that spit out of the earth because we got hit by a giant asteroid a few billion years ago, but that's possible too.
When you keep going down the rabbit hole, what you end up kind of with is this concept that amongst the, I guess, I don't know if you call it the ufologist culture. I'm not sure what you call it, but they kind of think that consciousness, well, number one, consciousness is, if you believe any of the people who are talking today, consciousness is directly involved with this. And so what they end up thinking is that consciousness exists on 3 or 4 different levels, and that we have sort of our body, our collective conscious, and then when we do die, that we do return to something. And there are people who go into things like, yeah, there's like lizards keeping our souls in boxes and shit. Like there are those rabbit holes where they like think that kind of stuff, and you go like, whoa, man, that's fucking crazy, dog.
It's womp rat holes. Jay.
Womp rat holes. Yeah.
Keep it themed here, buddy. All right. Fucking Star Wars.
For a second, I read Rick Jones's and Bill Miller's post together, and I thought, and I read the moon is a hologram.
It is
with flames painted on the side. I was like, fuck yeah.
With flames painted. That, yeah, man-made hologram. Ancient man technology, dude. The fucking Greek gods and the Mayans teamed up to make it. That's what Atlantis was. It's the hologram device. It's true.
Stuff they dug out for their golf course.
Mm-hmm.
Cassian knows about the brass balls. He knows. But yeah.
I'm gonna dip my balls in it.
But I mean, I every now and then when I'm feeling optimistic about humanity and trying not to think that we are all a bunch of idiots who have been on one cosmic grift after the next, which is completely possible, which is my thinking generally.
By the way, shop at MakingStarWars.net, shop.com.
Yeah, right. That doesn't exist. Don't do that. Somebody might make it and then I'll be in trouble for it.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Yeah. If somebody wants to make the truck balls and on a UFO and sell them, cool. I get it.
Making truck ball shop Star Wars making truck.
Yeah.
Truck.com.
Would they have to be the steel ones or would they?
Definitely
ones.
There has to be whatever that fucking Mandalorian armor's made out of stuff. Beskar.
Beskar steel.
Beskar. No, but I like to think like, and even this even comes to like down to Star Wars rumors. Every now and then I get the most angry at the ones I know are just a straight up lie. But a lot of the times I will entertain them when I know that they're probably not real, because I think that maybe they come from a place that isn't nefarious, that there is some grounding of truth to it, some element of it that it does ring true, and then it's been extrapolated upon into dog shit. And that
Rob Liefeld on his new episode of Observations decided to plop open his old Starlog.
Still the best name,
I haven't listened to that episode yet.
It rubs your face.
He's had that since the early 90s. It's not.
I know you messed up not coming up with that when we were like 10.
But anyway, but he was reading the Starlog rumors for The Empire Strikes Back when it had its first reveal to kind of get a sense of how rumors run, And you could see there was some truth, like Obi-Wan's a corporeal ghost who can interact but he's see-through. But then there's this stuff in there with like, and then it's all about like Han Solo's gonna die, and then Leia won't be with Han, or she'll be with Luke, and then there's this other stuff where you're just like, it's hard to read into the tea leaves, but you could see someone not intentionally making up the rumors, right? Like they're reading different things, getting back. It seems like legitimate reporting, as opposed to what we would get now with like giant Lucasfilm Civil War, Kurtz versus Lucas. They're trying to battle over the fate of Luke, and Lucas wants Luke to be like the princess of the Star Wars, but Kurtz wants Leia to run everything. Like there was one rumor in there that Mark Hamill was tired. Mark Hamill was tired of Star Wars, right? And so he and Han would both die in Empire, and Leia would run around with the new crew in Jedi. And I could just see that angering the shit out of the entire internet, right? Like that's funny. I think reading old Wizard magazine movie rumors is the best. Like to get a sense of this now,
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like you do hope that it thing like it would not surprise me if what started the majority of religions had something, whether it was truly paranormal or not, that
mushrooms.
Yeah,
it's all the Green Knight, bro. They were eating shit off the fucking ground. That's the one part of that movie that I'm like, that is legitimate historical accuracy. That's how they saw all this shit. They were eating shit off the ground because they were fucking hungry. They ate mushrooms and hallucinated giants and fucking weird shit.
On tomorrow's show, me and Allison are going to be smoking DMT live on the episode.
See you on Thursday. Looking forward to Thursday's show.
Be there.
Yeah, can't wait.
It all makes one thing that whenever I read this shit, and what I find it fascinating about it is that I don't feel like any of what the world has told us or has to offer us has been true. And that's what's so funny about it is
That's probably true.
And that's yeah, no, I don't. I mean, you know that pure things get diluted by mankind. Like I mean, I'm sure the basic tenets of Christianity are good, but then you go a couple thousand years and you end up with a bunch of kids getting finger banged by priests and them covering it up you know what I mean, a bajillion times, and just horrible things. And do I believe the people who would hide that and do that shit? Do I believe anything that they have to say? Not really. No, I don't. And but when you take the government is clearly hiding stuff from us. I mean, there is just no doubt about it. They truly are. Like I mean, and not only ours, the UFO report we had yesterday, where they're classifying the photo for another 50 years. So that way,
that's Scotland, right? But that holds true.
Yeah.
Other governments are. This is where I go, okay, this is legitimate fucking weird. How does a government take someone's fucking photo and classify it for 50 fucking years? I mean, like, this is just the rights alone is like, I took a photo and because you don't want anyone to see it. I mean, from the 90s. I mean, like to understand how low tech it had to be. A Game Boy was our fucking premier portable device at the time.
It could be a very good if they had a very good. We don't know what kind of camera if they had a fucking
right. So it has to be something fucking like mind altering great or mind altering stupid. Either way, it's fascinating news that they have classified a photo for 50 years. I mean, that's JFK like did Oswald have a CIA handler fucking nonsense? You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Is the 50 years like a common thing? Is it a specific amount of years for a reason?
I don't know. It was supposed to. They had a rule for like 30 years, where after 30 years it's supposed to be declassified, and then that time came up now, and then they gave it another 50. It's very strange, but one thing also to consider is that when we look at places like Australia, we know that the United States, I should say, appears to have with our military bases that we have there and stuff to have controlled UFO policy in Australia and places for years as well. And so there's always a chance that they're kind of almost being bullied into it. And when you look at what I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't know, but it's worth considering. And when you see the kick up with the Pentagon and Astro right now, where they're trying to make their own UFO office to supersede Astro, then you end up with what is happening? Why is it happening? And is it simply a stupid story of money and copyright patent kind of bullshit, wanting to have the cutting edge military technology? Because
one of the benefits to getting Medicare for all would be that it would siphon away money from them being able to create fucking disclosure blockage projects. Mm-hmm. They have too much money. Take the money away from them, give it to the people so they can get fucking affordable insulin or free insulin, and stop this fucking creating offices to stop disclosure from coming out on anything. Like,
if people understood the amount of wealth that our country actually has,
they don't. They don't. I know. But if they don't, they have no fucking clue.
They would be really mad about how little they have when we all have.
Like, you would get frustrated at what it would cost just to put one tank onto a train. Like, you have no idea. Like, we railheaded down to the Balkans. I didn't take I took the train ride and came back because I had a medical issue, but to get the fucking train, the tank on a train, the amount of money it costs is literally almost a fucking movie production budget. Because you got, the crew, the personnel, the amount of time it takes, shit that breaks, sometimes tanks break tread wheels and road wheels, and you know what those things cost according to military budgets? Like, it's just, you break shit just moving it around.
Yep.
And you go, well, it's for the common good to defend the country. You're not defending anyone with this shit. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. So they don't have no concept of budgets. Yeah. Zero.
No, and I understand it from like a societal kind of perspective where you go and you make a huge military, and then you take a lot of young people who really may not have a lot necessarily. I don't want to say going for them, but they're the ones who are going to actually threaten stability. And then you put them in the military, then you give them rigid, rules, and then you are kind of controlling them, and they get something out of it, and they
get to buy all their own equipment,
and they don't, yeah, but they don't get overthrown. I mean, it is a way of sort of suppressing a threatening force, and so I kind of get that aspect of it to some extent. But Bill is asking, I'm not sure if Bill is asking about the Zimbabwe incident, but there's also been a lot like in Australia where like one story I heard one time was a lady would go dancing at the military base to dance with the American soldiers and the Australian soldiers there, and she needed a ride home, and two of the soldiers were like, "We'll give you a ride home." And she gets in the car with them, and they're like driving back, and then the guy's like, "Whoa!" And he stops. He's all, "There it is. It's back again." And they get out and they start like looking at it, and she doesn't see it at first, and then she finally sees it, and she freaks out, and she like she ends up like getting out of the car and running home. But what's weird about the story is she gets in her, and she runs all the way home, goes to bed, and then just acts like it never happened. And then a day later, she gets a knock on her door, and it's the military, and they're like, "What happened?" And she's like, "Uh-oh, I really did it now, right?" And then they're like staring at her like, "Yeah, you fucking did." And then they threatened her, but they fucked up because Australian ladies do not take to being pushed around by some fucktard. And she went, and then that's when she started talking because they started fucking trying to bully her. And then she went and she said, "Yeah, like I saw this thing," and then they tried to
Yeah, Jason's summarizing this very fast, but if you read this story, it really is quite fascinating.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's definitely worth looking up. I don't remember her name.
We did it on one of the UFO shows. We brought up the actual article and read it. Yeah, on one of the UFO shows.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the stories I like a lot.
Yeah, like when you speed through it, it sounds like what I don't like, but trust me on this one, that's the one you want to look up. Like,
yeah, it's good. Yeah. But but we because like during the Cold War, if shit broke out between the West and in communism, you were going to have U.S. having to deal with a lot of it was the thinking, and so a lot of that's like a holdover from then. I don't know if that's changed at all. I don't know if I really am of the belief that the Cold War never did end, but for what it's worth.
Not really.
But the world,
we not fighting Russia right now?
Yeah.
Are we not?
Yeah. No, I when I was an undergrad, I did a lot of my took a lot of Cold War courses for my outside stuff. Just sounded like something fun to like do. I needed some outside courses to graduate. I did a bunch of with this Cold War studies dude, and his perspective was it didn't end, and I didn't really buy into it. I was like, dude, that shit ended when I was 10.
They tried to say that the age of terrorism starts with 9/11, and I'm like, I'm sorry, did you not understand how World War I started? Does anyone not understand how that day went down?
Well, I mean,
in the Balkans, do you not understand, like the assassination attempt, the successful assassination of a man and his wife by the Black Hand? I don't know, guys. Like the age of terrorism is the 20th century. 100%,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Bill says the whole IRA. And I have to admit, I know of it, but I'm not an expert on it, so I don't want to misspeak about it. But yeah.
Although to be fair to that guy, had he known what that date would have caused, I doubt he ever would have pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
If he would have caused 2 world wars and nuclear bombs, dude. Like one trigger, man. One act of gun violence causes a world war. Like it's just so nuts.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those. Like I heard. I don't know how true this is.
Allison's saying existential shit. I'm saying not one gunshot started 2 world wars, Allison. Stop it. Like, that's different.
It was probably the
state sponsored. It was probably state sponsored. We still to this day don't know what fucking state was backing those guys that got the fucking. There was a whole thing where they were like in a cafe tavern type thing, and they got like this package with like, you know, he's coming to town kind of shit. You know, like who put him up to it? Like. It's different. It's different now, and it set up the entire 20th century for the type of shit that we're dealing with today.
Yeah.
So,
Clean Ball Luke says
normalization.
Your comments on the Cold War make me think you would like Adam Curtis's documentaries about this. Bitter Lake and was that Hyper Normalization? Touch on the Cold War influence and how it never really stopped. Yeah, that I'll check those out. That sounds like something I would enjoy. Yeah, but we to go back to what I was you remember how there was like a lot of stuff about like Kosovo in the 90s? Like if you were a kid in the 90s, it was like Nirvana doing like benefit concerts, and that's kind of like what you really heard about it for the most part, and there was shit about it. But
I heard genocide.
But I heard that that like one of the catalysts for kicking it off was that a dude stuck a bottle up his ass. The bottle broke, and then he said that the Kurds or whatever it was, I can't remember what they're called, came in and like shoved it up his ass. I didn't do that because it feels good to me. They did it to me, and then that was the catalyst to go in and start.
Like, he was probably drunk because that's how they clean their butthole. They don't have plumbing out there. Like you carry a bottle and you use your left hand, you get in the hole and you go up there and clean. Like I'm being serious. So like that sort of things, like maybe he was drunk and look, I could sit on it too, and then whatever. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
but like to, and I'm into what Allison is saying. The assassination for Nadan and was literally the final straw in a long history of problems. It's like the excuse that led to the big fight. Like the fight at Denny's that you see between a couple isn't really because he didn't pass the syrup. It was waiting to happen. They wanted it to happen.
Yeah, tell that to the Belgians who were sitting there waiting for the Germans to roll in with these fucking these guns that were so loud you had to shove fucking cotton balls in your mouths and you keep your mouth open and your ears plugged up because it's not the same thing, Alice. I get it, but this is Gen Xer fucking nihilism. You're like, it always existed, it doesn't really matter, apathy's the best. Like, no, it's uniquely different than it was before. Before, it was like a game. Like, we'll go and take some land and we'll fight you, but you'll take some land. The people running it in this feudalism situation, it was a big game for the longest time. Before that, it was just like Alexander the Great conquest. This is literally a state little back group of people that committed one murder, and that murder fucking launched the deaths of millions of fucking people and set us up with a Cold War situation, a situation where people were the whole planet being annihilated by. It's not the same thing. It's just not. It's crazy is what it is. But we eliminate that because people aren't mostly taught about World War I in high school. It's not interesting. And then we go to, it started with the brown people who took down some planes. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is they like to rewrite everything into modern context and go, terrorism started. It starts when Americans get inconvenienced at an airport. You know, like shit doesn't start until like it deeply affects Americans. Like masks are a problem. I'm sorry, but I don't know about you, but my cousin's Korean, and like they've been wearing masks since fucking their whole life. You know, her mom grew up wearing masks. Like they don't have problems wearing masks. It's just weird, man. It's weird how we recontextualize it. And the Cold War, so it just ends when the Soviet Union stops being officially the Soviet Union. The fucking KGB's running everything. What ended? Like it literally, it just became a merging of the Soviet mentality with like 1920s Nucky Thompson like bootleg and mobster shit. Yeah. You know, like it's just the mobsters are running the government now, and now it's like
honest in a weird way. They were just being honest about what they were at that point. Yeah. But when you look at to get back to the true alien conspiracy, you guys, as we've said before, when Fukushima happens, they don't show up with their little lasers and plug up the, they don't
at least
they don't
use
stop
the
it.
freeze ray. Use the freeze ray, freeze the core.
They don't pause everybody on the battlefield and say, "Hey guys." So
why weren't they observing World War I dudes?
But the
big saucer in the sky during these crazy battles they've never seen Earthlings do before.
I think there is stuff with UFOs in World War I too.
I want to know, were there? That's the thing I have to say. Like, okay, if they're time travelers, the only theory I've ever heard that explains why you don't see much of these at a certain point, or maybe you see different types, but it's randomly throughout history, is that they can't go further back than when that time machine was created. So if a time machine in another galaxy was created 1 billion years ago, then those aliens could go as far back as then, or far forward. But they couldn't go further back than when they first made that. But then you have to wait for another civilization to get fucking time travel, which means that's why these different ones show up at this point. Like, whatever technology was invented at that point maybe is the one that led. I don't fucking know. It hurts my head to think about. But
like Elizondo says, we have Roman soldiers saying that flaming shields are
yeah, I know. But World War I's where you got photographs and film, and you can actually, like, where you would think if it was just a giant observation chamber, like, bro, watching an entire fucking like city, like area just get destroyed in a way that this Earth is not seen, short of natural fucking comets blowing shit up. You'd think that you would have seen that. Like, yeah, maybe there are, but there's no great book on World War I UFO stories. I haven't heard of it.
I bet you there is. We should look
into it because I've yet to. It's never appeared on Coast to Coast. I've never heard any of this shit. Like,
I've heard about. I heard a story about in World War II about Americans fighting Germans, and the Germans were kind of fighting like the kid Germans at that point that weren't really a very big threat, and it wasn't very like serious. They would have to say it wasn't serious, but they really weren't very afraid, and they were aggressively moving in. Then all of a sudden, a UFO pops up. They're like, "What the fuck?" The dude starts to fire on it, but it starts to shoot shit back at him, and it's a real.
So what I was trying to say was, if during that time, that's when they were working on the nuclear bomb, and the nuclear whatever depleted uranium, which eventually could be turned into element 115 or whatever they made there is the seed that eventually becomes a time machine. Then I get like that's why it would start there, as we would know, like time travelers from us. Right, like our modern version, like whatever we can do, maybe 1,000 years from now, starts that the seed of that starts there. Then they can't go further back than whenever Oppenheimer and them were building something. That makes some logical sense. Look, logical in a J.J. Abrams kind of way.
And that's where I go, like, because the more that we get into this shit, the more I think Bob Lazar is on to was legit. And I believe, as much as I can believe something as outlandish as Bob Lazar, I pretty much believe it as much as you can without them saying, yes, Lazar was real. And
I'm totally willing to be wrong too on that, but I buy it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like they say, what is it? Element 115, Moscovium. It's real, but it's not as he described. And then it's like, well, he described it as being stable, and we don't have it stable. And so does that mean that it's completely, so I, what I mean? And I don't know.
No, it means it comes from a universe where they have stabilized it and not here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of minerals and elements that don't grow here and could never exist here because of the conditions somewhere else. So
same, Bill. Hey, Bill, if you ever want to come on the show and talk UFOs with us, by the way, send me a message and we'll send you the.
Sure, but I want actual stories, not their stories. Okay, great. Yeah. But
no, of course.
Yeah, I like them. I'm just saying we got to actually bring something up to talk about, because I can't have general discussions. There was once and one time. There's always been UFO. That's not a conversation.
Nobody's saying that. We're saying
Jesse said it. Jesse said it.
Jesse.
Roll back the tape. Roll back the tape.
I'm just mad because you didn't get into the Slytherin, and I did.
I told you. Well, no, I would be running Slytherin, motherfucker. What are you talking about? I'd be the succession of Slytherin. What are you talking about?
You should have saw when I had hair. I had some Draco Malfoy blonde locks.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah, but then the ancient gods took it from me.
I tried growing out. I tried growing out long hair in high school, and I just looked like Ringo Starr in 1969. Like, it did not. It's like, yeah, I know that look. It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's painful. It's painful. But anyways, it does seem like the whole world is a grift. The aliens are real. Jimmy Carter's crying. The Star Wars Galaxy Crew sucks. Willow's having production problems. What the fuck? And it's only because the aliens want our emotions, so don't get mad.
And Yoko won't stop doing crossword puzzles.
Bill, come. You need to come on the show one of these days because
it's Miller
hope.
time.
Your hope. You're our hope. And Allison has long hair still. Bill and Allison still have long hair. Maybe there is hope for the world. Maybe it's not all a grift. Maybe the aliens are nice. Maybe the Pleiadians do just want to bone and talk about the stars.
World War I indirectly caused World War II. Never mind you what Hitler went through during World War I, but okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. All that gas technology they invented, sure, didn't have nothing to do with it.
Hey, David. David,
sure. Indirectly. Sure.
Tacos.
I love Allison, man, but whatever. You're right.
Listen, when me and Allison,
I don't know anything.
Allison's agreeing with you.
I like Avatar. What do I know? I don't like.
Allison.
Everyone hates me. What? Everyone hates me.
Allison agrees
No,
with you.
it's all nothing. Everything existed before something.
Allison,
Star Wars isn't the greatest ever, right? Like,
Allison doesn't think that we've been visited by intelligent life. If anything was looking at us, they would see the age of the dinosaurs. See that's
dinosaurs. All they do is shit and eat.
So
we have logos.
We're the little glass ball in the Jurassic World movie.
No, but see, the thing is, Allison, is that people like Jacques Vallée and Tom DeLonge are saying they don't come from another planet. They've always been here. They don't.
How do you know they're not looking at dinosaurs right now? Like,
well, she's saying
we're not there. We can't. We don't know if the dinosaurs are going fucking UFOs. Like, we don't. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, well, no, because if they were really far away and they were observing Earth, they would be observing Earth over time. But the thing about it is, you can't consider classic.
But time is parallel. Right now, if you could time right now, they're watching dinosaurs as we speak. It's crazy. Like, it's like Bill and Ted's, right?
Yeah, well,
the ending
that is the thing. Is all of these people keep saying in some different way that all time is happening at once, all at the same time, and that we experience time in the way that our brains are decoding it in a linear fashion, but that's not actually how this works.
Here's a thought. Maybe cow mutilations. Why the cows? Why the cows? Why the cows? What's causing global warming? Cow farts. And that's why they keep drilling out the rectums to figure out like what wrecked the planet 1,000 years from now, right?
No, they're pulling out the glands.
Pour them out.
Make perfume out of.
Allison, I totally get what you're saying, Allison. But Rob he's gone.
I'm being unreasonable.
Being unreasonable.
I'm being unreasonable to your reason. Nah. Everyone has an Allison.
Yeah. But they well the Pixie song.
You want to quit the show, Allison? Welcome to Willowville. What?
But anyways, yeah. I think that we don't understand shit. I think that we think we know, but we don't know anything. Joel knows because he said the treaty resides guaranteed World War II. And I agree. So I'm gonna go with that. But we've done our 2 hours and 3 minutes of a show today. So yeah, we're gonna call it a show. And taking my little childrens to get their second vaccinations right now, so that they are totally protected from. No, not totally protected, but as they have a little bit of a flaming shield on their back, watching them as they battle upon the playground.
When can we go to Galaxy's Edge? When can we go to Galaxy's Edge? Such a bummer.
Promise.
Those key kid years, you know what I mean? Like, couldn't imagine.
Bill gets his booster tomorrow. Bill, I got my booster, and I gotta say, it was worse than the other two. Not that bad, but about 30% worse than the other two for me. So make sure you drink a bunch of water before and get whatever you need when you're sick that makes you feel better before you get it, because you never know. Just a little bit of
If anything else, if nothing else came from this episode, we got Shepaka. Come on.
And Bill just got sick the last time reviewer for a week. That sucks, man. Yeah, Oh, and really quickly, David. David, the Starcruiser looks great.
Best.
Take out a credit card and put down all your money on it right now.
Pre-order now.
Pay for your
VIP
friends and
pass,
family
man.
to go.
VIP pass.
It's gonna be bigger than NFTs.
You won't
bigger than NFT. I'm telling you right now, it's amazing. Yeah,
you are gonna love it. It's good.
What do you think's funding this fucking thing? Like, it's just a giant NFT cruise. Actually, they're out there making them. Like,
David, go back to the part where we have the video playing, and we
ignore everything after that.
But yeah,
and when you see me doing this like a Muppet, then you know you've entered the real waste.
The Rob zone. The Rob zone.
To do the Rob zone. Allison does wrong. Like,
oh yeah. How did the dentist go yesterday?
Oh, I'm doing great. So, they're very happy with my.
Did you have any abduction flashbacks?
My father got medical. He worked for Kaiser. He got a job at Kaiser to give us medical back in the 80s when it was when things started skyrocketing, but never took us to get dentist work. I didn't get dental work until I got in the Army, and they're like, these teeth are fucked up. I'm like, I don't even know what a dentist is, man. So, and then when I got back, I couldn't afford a dentist for 12 years, and I ate poorly because, artists. Mm-hmm. So I have corrected that, right? And there's still some stuff eventually that has to be done because of the years I didn't. But just floss and brush, folks. It's worth saving yourself the fucking $6,000 in dental bills, dude.
Oh yeah.
So big time. But
hippie lettuce.
He means the devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce.
Sure.
Allison says, okay. Actually, Allison, it's the opposite. I think Rob needs the devil's lettuce to chill out a little bit. And so that's why you should do drugs.
All he needs is some good coke. Yeah. Produce a Star Wars film, get some coke.
Can you imagine Rob on coke? My God, we'd all be crying. He'd be like, "You fat fuck, shut the fuck up! You don't know what Star Wars is, you motherfucker!"
I love you guys. I love you, everybody. It's the best. It just means so much to be here.
Not coke. Coke. You'd be like, "I'm gonna live forever."
And I sleep in a separate bed for my wife, but it's good for religion. So. She's a doctor. Really important to know that.
Oh my God.
I'm going to complain about the elites while I graduate from Harvard and my wife's a doctor, but just say it really fast. I sound smart.
But, yeah.
Oh, now we know what happened to Eddie Munster. He grew up and became a fucking right winger.
You know what, Eddie Munster? Grow your widow's peak back. Stop shaving it. Be you. It's okay. But we'll see everyone tomorrow. And thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you
Watch Life's Too Short.
Watch Life's Too Short. If you think I deserve it, become a Patreon supporter or a channel member. And
No Hope is if I made a Star Wars movie. Star Wars Episode 10, No Hope.
And thank you for today's super chat. Always appreciate those. Those always help out too. And but we'll be back tomorrow. If there's no Star Wars news, I'm just gonna keep talking about UFOs because I do what I want.
Oh, and at Thrawn261 @gmail.com if you want a sticker.
Oh yeah, we gotta put that.
Dude, you gotta make the nuggies, Jesse, before I forget. The Yoda Nuggies sticker. We get a bowl of them for Jason.
No!
Call it the Fixin' Special. You know what I mean?
Not a Nuggies.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
All right.
They're gonna be like, "Did you mean any of that?" Yes.
Every fucking word of it.